there, Sithbelle here with another episode of Sithbelle Survives. I hope you... Let me get out of this glass case of emotion. That's better. I hope you enjoyed the video that I just made. I got really excited about finishing this island, so I thought I'd do something fancy for a change. Right now we're standing in the inside of our lighthouse, which I have moved the downstairs portal inside, so now we have a nice comfortable spot with a bed, ender chest, and crafting table for all of our needs. We have a lovely bubble vader going up, and a nice drop chute going down, and an incredibly cool view of the swirls from the inside. I love this view. It's a little dizzying, but that's part of the fun, right? So yeah, I think with the exception of some snow that has accumulated on top of the roof, I can call this starter island completely done, and I am extremely proud of how it turned out. I'm sure I'll be tweaking stuff here and there as we go along, but I have completely devastated my deep slate reserves. This is all I've got left, and that's not enough to do anything, especially since it's one of my favorite blocks. So I'm probably going to hit the mines, replenish my reserves, and then we'll see what we're going to do for this episode. Before I do that, though, I want to show you a brief little clip that I recorded while I was terraforming the island, because it's a bit important and provides a little bit of context. So I'm working on my island a little bit, and I am about sick and tired of drowned. So I'm gonna do something about it. Take 2 stacks just in case. I need nautilus shells. With this, I can make what's called a conduit, and when combined together with the prismarine, we can do some pretty cool stuff. So I'm gonna set it about right here will do. Like, look at this. This is ridiculous. Leave me alone! Okay. So there's our conduit. And if we wrap stuff around it like so... Oops. Oh my gosh. You guys are just the worst. Ah. So this gives us conduit power, which gives us water breathing and destroys the drowns in the area. It also lets us see underwater, which is very convenient. And the more rings we have around it like so, the further out this radius is. So we want to make this as big as possible because we live in an ocean planet. And one more ring here. Alright, now watch. When the zombie drowned gets too close, he'll start taking damage, or at least he should. Yeah, there he goes. I guess it has to be fully powered. It's got these little balls that are attacking him. And he dies. It's just so nice. So hopefully we'll be left alone underwater for a while. So, I mean, look at this. It's littered with debris from where I've been killing all the drowned. Future Sithbelle here. Spoiler alert. The conduit does not do nearly as much as I would have hoped for it to do. Turns out the only thing to really keep the drowned from spawning is lighting up the area with sea pickles, which I have done, and as you can see here, it doesn't matter. They're still drowned everywhere. I will forever be plagued by these stinking undead gurgly boys for as long as I live in this world. So, welcome to my life, I guess. Goth kitty! Goth kitty, goth kitty, goth kitty. This is exactly why I brought fish on this adventure. And ghost kitty! Now they're gonna make this a lot more difficult to get home. There are so many cats in this village. Ha 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 ha. Hi. I love you. You're an all black cat. Let's go get Ghost. I will chase you until you love me. No. Ha 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 ha. Calico. This is my favorite village ever. Let's go get our Nemeria kitty. You are going to be just like my Nemeria kitty. Yay, I got you. They don't have an actual equivalent of Nemeria in this game, but you're going to be the closest equivalent. Look at you. You got the little stripe on your face, too. Oh. Yay, Nemeria's sleeping on me. Oh. And you gave me a present. Thank you. A rabbit hide. Nice. You're so ferocious. Well, now I've got to get these 3 kitties home. And there's the Mjolnir kitty. Yay. I got Mjolnir and Nemeria. Yay. Still going to make getting home difficult. But what's one more cat at this point? the other Nemeria. No, don't be scared, don't be scared. Come here, sweet pea. We've got 9 out of 11. Come join my army of cats, please. Nope, we already had that one. Well, this is not helping my reputation for being a crazy cat lady. But look at them all. They're so cute! So I promised this wasn't my plan today, but I did manage to come back home with 8 new cats. One of which is a duplicate that I brought home before. I managed to find the Siamese in a different village while I was roaming about. And we are 1 away from completing the catalog. We're just missing the Jellycat. These guys need to be silenced and named. I only know the names of probably 4 of them are gonna be in advance. So I'll have to do a think on the other 4. And then I have to figure out what I'm gonna do with them. They've gotta live somewhere cute, right? So the first thing I'd like to do today is finally make a home for this super smelter. It's just been kind of standing as an eyesore on this hillside for too long, and I want to fix that. Don't talk to me about the iron farm. I know I still need to reskin it. I just can't come up with any good ideas. Also, while I have you here, I installed an off switch for my smelter because it was creating a bit of lag, and I wanted to turn it off for a little bit. So this redstone all extends all the pistons so it doesn't grow anymore, so it doesn't send any more in here. So we have actually cooked through everything. Also, I got rid of the bamboo contraption that I had previously installed because it was also causing a lot of lag, and I think using kelp for the cooking will make it a bit better. It got in the way of the off switch, and I think this is just going to be easier. So I've spent some time in a creative test world, and I've got a build for this bad boy set up. And it's going to use these blocks in here. It's going to have a very different exterior to how it looks on the inside. I'm actually pretty excited about that. So let's get building. So if you heard a weird sound at the end of that last clip, that was my cat Mjolnir singing the song of his people. He heard that I found him in Minecraft and decided to celebrate, apparently. Anyway, here we get started on the building, which started off very strong. I got all the materials that I needed for this portion with plenty to spare. Very proud of myself. I used smooth basalt, I think it's called. Yeah, smooth basalt and mud for the baseline, and then cyan terracotta for the borders, and clay for the center part, and some polished basalt for the pillars, the supporting pillars. And then I put this little red nether brick skirt around the building because I kind of like the look of a porch slash roof, and I think it breaks up the building nicely, and it sets up what I'm going to do in the next little clip. So I used cobbled deep slate, as apparently I just can't get enough of that block lately, and I used it to create these little supporting structures. I call it the German look, for lack of a better term, where they put the little diagonal support beams throughout the building to make it look more sturdy. I thought that'd be a really fun look, and so I created this little diagonal pattern, tried to make X's as best as I could, but I didn't have a lot of space to work with, so they're slightly awkward, but we got there in the end. And as I said, this part went very smoothly. I was able to get it looking nice, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. After that, though, the struggle bus started, and that's with the roof, because you know me and roofs, they don't go so well. So I created this in the creative test world, and I didn't take enough screenshots, and I knew that I wasn't doing it right, so I had to take a break and switch between, which is why you see that random cut there just a second ago. But I figured out what I did wrong, and I fixed it, and I'm using red nether brick for the roof here as well. And I decided to do a kind of steeply pitched roof where it's a block and a half for the incline on each, and I think it turned out very, very well. And I really, really, really like how the red nether brick pairs with the polished deep slate. Only problem is that red nether brick is actually hard to come by. You can't find it naturally in Minecraft. You have to create it. So I couldn't just go out and farm some. I had to smelt down netherrack to make nether bricks, and then use nether wart combined to create the red nether brick. Maybe someday they'll make it generate naturally in the world, but not yet. I made over 10 stacks of red nether brick, and I thought surely that would be plenty for what I needed to do. Nope. Not even close. Not even close at all. So you'll see me going back and forth between my little patch of nether wart back there. That's me replenishing my supplies so I can make more red nether brick. I also had to smelt an entire shulker box worth of netherrack to get the remaining components, and I had to go back like 4 or 5 times before I ended up having enough for this project. While I was waiting for the nether wart to grow, I decided to go ahead and fill in these sides, and I used cyan terracotta like with the borders because it went well, and then I used a cobbled deep slate border around a little circular window, which I fill in later, and unfortunately that clip did not turn out well at all because it's very, very hard to show a time lapse indoors, so I'll just have to give you a tour once this is over with. But yeah, it slowly gets there. The roof goes line by line by line, and I think it really turned out rather well. Of course, it rains right when I'm about to complete it, so you get some lovely particles that are in the way there. There I go, replanting yet more nether wart. But that was enough. Oh, nope, I lied. That wasn't enough. Also drives me nuts. I didn't actually replant all of it. But that was the last bit that I needed, and I was able to put the polished deep slate roof accent on top, and we can call the exterior of this done. I made one last pass to make sure that I covered up any grass spots that didn't look very well supported with the smooth basalt and the mud. But then we have ourselves a finished build for our super smelter. Isn't it pretty? Alright, and we're back in first person again. One thing that I have figured out while building this is that I really, really should not have done all of this before building this, because jumping up and down through this has been so obnoxious. I really need to cover it up. Inside, we have a lovely, kind of almost sanitized super smelter room. Oh hey, did I mention that I needed nether brick? I didn't quite use all of it. I have a bit left over, and that'll be useful for making more nether brick and red nether brick for whichever building needs it next. I have a little secret door to the back, which, as you can see, is wonderfully decorated, but it allows me to come back and do any troubleshooting should I need it. And it doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to be functional. I put some mangrove doors on the front, and, oh, whoops. Let me just put these down real quick. So yeah, I have some mangrove doors on the front, and I turned the polished basalt sideways to kind of have a cool little entryway look. And this is all pretty much the same as it was before. I added a bit of a ceiling, a bit more lighting, and one thing that I kept finding myself doing is I wanted to check this particular minecart to see when it was filled up before I sent them to go. So I added a little bit of an entry point down here so I could take a peek whenever I wanted to. And if I just turn on my cheaty cam for a second there, we'll see that I missed a block. Awesome. Let's go over to this one where I know it was done right. So it looks horrible on this side, but what it does is it kind of blacks out this window so you can't see inside, but it also provides a bit of light, so when it becomes nighttime, it has that nice lovely glow. Kind of like what we did over here, but less visible. As you can see, I still haven't replanted that particular section of nether wart. I need to do that. And you'll see on this side, it's the same principle, but with a block missing that I need to place. If there is one complaint that I have, it's that this roof is so saturated in the red that it actually makes this look a bit faded. And I don't know if I like that, because this is my little starter island. But I think this color I don't think the red nether brick would go well here at all. So I'm not going to make any changes. Also, I know these two buildings are rather close together, but we're kind of creating these little zones because this entire island is going to be covered with farms eventually. So real estate is going to be at a premium, and they are going to be kind of close together. So I think I like it. We'll create some alleyways. I'm going to create a little path. First of all, I'm going to cover this monstrosity. Then I'm going to set up a little alleyway over here so you can access this easily. And I'm also going to rearrange this area down here. But I still have no idea how I'm going to integrate this into the landscape so that it looks pretty. I just know that it needs to be covered up way more than it is at the moment. And yes, the iron farm still needs way more attention as well. It can't stay like this forever. And the last thing I think I'm going to do today is give some names to these cats. First, we're going to gift you with the gift of silence. Here we go. And now let's name y'all. First, we're going to do the gray kitty. He's going to be Mjolnir, because he's the closest thing that I can get to my actual kitty, Mjolnir. And we're going to name you Nymeria, because you're a calico. And my Nymeria is actually a Torby, so she's kind of a mix between this one and this one. So this one is going to be also Nymeria. So we can combine them. And then we're going to name this one Ghost. We're going to name this one Holly, after my childhood cat that was all black. We're going to name this one Derpy, after my grandmother's Himalayan slash ragdoll slash Siamese style cat. We're going to name this one Sanderson, because he looks kind of like he's been rolling around in some sand. And finally, we've got Smush, because I didn't realize, but his nose is higher than all the other kitties, giving him a bit of a smush face. And that's just adorable. And there we go. All our kitties have been named and are mercifully silent. And I think that's going to about do it for today. We were incredibly productive, got a whole building built, found a bunch of cats, and I'm ready to start planning for the next build. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye!